my mom a letter, and I wanted to share it. Not all of it, but portions of it. I think some can relate. Dear Mom, today I'm talking at your celebration of life, and I didn't think it would be this soon. I certainly didn't expect to be 26 years old, losing my rock, my cheerleader, and my mother. This has been one of the hardest months of my life, especially living so far away from home, processing grief, and doing my best to maintain a smile and technically troubleshoot at work. It's lovely. I think of you most in the mornings because you always were a songbird. Anytime I came home for the holidays, you were up and making breakfast, chatting away, you loved to talk, humming to yourself, and calling upstairs when the food was ready. You always made sure there was enough for everyone. Your joy was immeasurable in every way. You radiated love, love of life, love of others, and love of God. I remember every time we would go to Sawal's, who knows, health food store together, and you were treated like royalty. Walking the aisles, saying hello to all the people, staff knew you, making friends left and right, talking health. Sometimes we would be there for an hour and it was a 10-minute trip. Same way at Meyer. I remember you telling me you were employee of the month many times, month after month. I was like, is there a cut? Every time. And how many people would walk through the doors just to greet and to see you because you made them feel at home. You made everyone feel welcome and that they were valuable. I remember one winter, I was visiting home. There was a man who walked past our house every day, probably mid-20s, slowly, always with his head down. You commented to me, I wonder what's his story. The next time you saw him, you walked outside, you caught him, simply to ask a complete stranger, is everything okay? She just thought he was down. He said he needed to make some money to buy a radio so he could talk to the aliens. Without hesitation or judgment, you offered him $20 to shovel the driveway. After he was done shoveling, you invited him in for tea and sat and listened to him excitedly talk about this radio, which came across as complete gibberish and BS. But you listened. And I know that was the first time someone had given him an ear for a long time. And you always did that. And between me and you, he did a terrible job shoveling. When we were little and Taco Bell launched its Crunchwrap Supreme, my brother David and I were ecstatic. Junk food was a luxury in our home because my mom was a health fanatic. We would beg her for Twinkies or Frosted Flakes like our peers had in their lunch boxes. And her response was always the same. If it's more than 5 ingredients and I don't like the ingredients, put it back. I still really believe to this day that any fat David and I have on our bodies comes from drinking 2% milk. She wouldn't have it any other way. But as much as we celebrated our love for Crunchwraps, it was always a random surprise lunch that she would provide us because she knew that we wanted it and to fit in. But thank you, Mom, for instilling health into our lives. These are habits I still hold daily. Always reflecting on my mom's wealth of knowledge when it comes to self-care. There was no one that knew it better. I don't think it's a coincidence that I was able to go back to Kenya this summer with my mom. Finally, at an age I can remember and meet a lot of my family for the first time. And holy cow, do I have a lot of family. My mom thrived in Kenya. Those were her roots, and her heart truly always stayed there. I realized that after I saw her in her element. We got to tour the hotel college, which launched her career in hospitality, meet old friends, see safari animals. I saw an alligator take down a rotisserie chicken, and spend quality time together. One of my fondest and funniest memories of my mom was when she arranged a 60-person dinner, and that's not the entire family on that side, and extended family just to meet me. She was so excited that I was there for the first time. Well, third, but them meeting me. My mom corralled people traveling as far as 5 hours away for this meal so they could meet me. When we arrived at the restaurant, the setup was all wrong, and the cook didn't know what the menu was to be for the crowd, even though it had been communicated time and time again before. I knew my mother could be sassy, but I saw sass and rapid-fire Kikuyu, her mother tongue, and I was terrified. She demanded the manager, the cook, the line cooks, and all the staff to come out, and here she is, 5'4", hands on hips, talking, and I don't understand a word, telling them this will be done. Mind you, the restaurant was packed, and it was very busy, but she made them all come out. What makes this story better is after she got the food and seating situation sorted out, construction workers started to jackhammer outside, making it so loud to conversate with all 60 of us in different languages and translating, and hear what each other was trying to say. My mom, already heated by the food situation, marched downstairs, walked up to a construction worker and grabbed the jackhammer. She told him to take a break for a few hours. Who knows what was all said, but I know that I looked out at some point and they were taking a really long lunch break. We didn't hear anything for some time. Mom had the power to influence and get things done. She wasn't going to let weeks of planning a family reunion be ruined by anything. She provided exceptional customer service, and she expected that back, and she wouldn't settle for anything else. Each and every family member told her, "We are here together today because of you. Thank you. Thank you for being the glue." I miss you, Mom. Some days are better than worse, but I think of you constantly. You are so missed. The impact and legacy you've left is unmatchable. I hope I'm making you proud, and there's literally no woman that is stronger than you ever were. Your faith was unwavering and unmatchable. You loved God and ended every conversation with, "God bless you, I'm praying for you." If I had a bad day at work or a life event outside of my control, you never worried, but instead answered, "God's got it." We actually did talk about death before, but which you still were not fazed by. You always said, "When I go, throw a party, not a funeral, because I'm partying with Jesus." Dope. I hope you know how much I love you. You gave me the gift of life, and I vow to live this life for you. Till we meet again, Mom. Love, Lumpy.